The dragonfly, this crazy machine, 360-degree vision with those compound eyes, can fly straight backwards. The only insect that can just reverse direction and go any direction. According to some reports, they've been clocked at over 60 miles an hour. Now, when I've told some scientists that, they say, no, it's not true. It's not true. Okay, according to some reports. By other reports, ones that cannot be falsified, they can fly wicked fast. And I have seen this with mine own eyes. There it goes. I've also seen my son have some sort of strange connectivity with them. And my daughter's not. I spent hours at a pond trying to help my daughter touch a dragonfly. She desperately wanted to. And I mean, we would have settled for a damselfly. At this point, she just wanted something long, skinny, with wings. I could have pawned off any number of things on her and said, it's a dragonfly. And I could have even kind of justified it morally, because by common names, well, yeah, okay, fine. We were trying hard. I was trying to help her. Usually I can accomplish these kinds of things. Usually I can do it. Holding grass out was the best we could do. We could get one to land on a piece of grass. My son was off looking for turtles, and as we were heading finally after hours of this back to the car, he could hear his sister complaining that she had not touched a dragonfly. And she was cheerful about it. She wasn't sinning about it, but she wanted to. She really wanted to touch one. And he said, really? And he kind of stopped and looked around. And we were away from the water, well away from the water, down by this parking lot, and he sees one, way up there. And he kind of stops and looks at it and just stands out and waits. And I'm looking at him, and his sister, because she's grown up with him, takes this for granted. She's like, oh good, Rory's helping. So Rory just kind of stands there, and the dragonfly turns and comes down and lands on his shirt. He's wearing a black shirt, not flowers, nothing else. And he's done this before. He did this when he was 2 with a butterfly, and I included that in tilt-a-whirl because it really kind of rattled me. And this time I'm like, well, here we are again. And he looks down, he's got this big, fat, true dragonfly, no damselflies here. This is a true dragonfly, hefty, helicopter-looking Apache dragonfly, sitting on his shoulder. And so he picks it up and sets it on his sister's arm. It's like, okay, so in future, Lucia, just ask your brother. just cut this out. And then he moves off to the car like, yeah, this is normal. Easy peas. And then he also, as a side note, said, I think it's having some trouble with its eyes. But he picked up on that, some eye trouble. He also recently saved a butterfly from a boy, the kind of boy we would refer to as a Sid in our house. I hope none of you are named Sid or have children named Sid, but there's a boy in Toy Story named Sid who likes to destroy things and wreck things and just for the fun of it. And so we've always talked about the boy who steps on the ant because the ant is there is a Sid. The boy who wants to shove a garter snake down a hose and turn it on is a Sid. No boy has ever thought of that before. He's a Sid. Rory rescued this butterfly from a boy who was trying to kill it, and he rode home, an hour in the car with his butterfly on his shoulder, and then ate dinner with his butterfly on his shoulder, and I was ready to have this conversation about, I think the butterfly is going to die, because this is not, normal. And the butterfly also seemed to have a little wing damage. So he sat there for a while working on the wings, trying to shift the wings slightly, not touching the fuzz, messing with the joints, trying to get them to line up and balance well. And I was going to go have the word of like, pretty soon we freeze it and we pin it in your collection. And he was fine with that. It's like, if that's what it was, it's like, if that would be best for the butterfly. And at some point he knew it would be. He wouldn't have a problem with it. But after dinner, he decided to go feed it. And so he carried it to some flowers that he thought it would probably enjoy and watched it unroll its proboscis, this long beak in, and drink. He picked it up and moved it to the next one. And it unrolled and drank, and he moved it to the next one, and then it flew off. It's like he had this thing on him for hours. And I think, well, in a mechanical world, That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. In a world where people have different gifts and senses, where people can see things differently, and in a world, most importantly, where there is a God who gives things differently.